Hey everyone, and welcome to this Breaking the Barrier mini. Now, you may be listening to this where podcasts can be found, or you might be watching this on my Melbourne Superman YouTube. So either way, thanks for stopping by. Before we get started, I just wanted to say a couple things. Firstly, of course, we are going to be talking about Erin's Milestone run, one of her milestone runs on her way to the Spartan Race. So if you are racing in Australia, you can use the coupon code Superman and get 15% off of your race. If you are looking for race nutrition, you might want to head over to generationucan.com.au. Use the coupon code Breaking the Barrier for 15% off of your order. Of course, Generation UCAN is that patented super starch formula that really helps you utilize your body's fat sources as fuel rather than carbohydrates, and it will really help utilize your energy in the best possible way. So that's generationucan.com.au and use the coupon code Breaking the Barrier. So we are here. This is the second milestone run that we've had with Erin. So today we did a 3K run. Last week, it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago now, we did our 2K run. That was our first milestone run. Of course, Erin did that one in about 13:28. Yes, so it was a 6:44 pace. Thank you very much. And so today we did our 3K run. How'd we do?
It didn't really... The only thing that really felt different, it wasn't really in the body, but just in the weather conditions, to be honest. Like, even though we did better, and like, even though the pace was better and stuff like that, and I didn't walk it this time at all, I don't know, it didn't really feel very different, to be honest.
Well...
But it could just be that I'm just not noticing
Okay,
it.
well, I right off the bat will say, so everybody... if you have been following along Erin's journey on her first milestone run, the 2K, after about 1 kilometer, she had to walk, and we walked for about, 2 or 3 minutes before we picked it up again to run to the end of it. And today, we didn't walk at all. So you basically ran the entire 3 kilometers. We varied the pace a little bit. We slowed down, we sped up. Mostly I instead of using fartleks today, I got you to slow down a little bit so you could utilize your energy so that you could keep going rather than feeling the need to stop. But when you get fitter, it's kind of that testament that it doesn't necessarily get easier, you just get stronger and you push yourself a little bit harder. So it always does feel challenging, but you will find that you're able to be challenged for that little bit longer.
Yeah.
Rather than I've gotten to 1 kilometer, I need to stop. But no, today we were like, okay, we're going to pass the kilometer mark now. All right, cool. Let's get you to your first mile. Let's get you to 1,600 meters, your first mile, which we hit at around 10:34, which is great. And then it was, all right, let's get to 2 kilometers. All right, cool.
Which was my suggestion.
Which was your suggestion.
Let's do 2 kilometers.
Which is
Because I'm like, I'm an Australian. I don't talk in miles. I talk in kilometers. Let's just go to 2.
Yeah, well, that was great. We hit that 2 kilometer mark, and then I was like, all right, let's reassess. Kept going. All right, well, let's just slow down for a little bit. And then it was like, let's get to 2.5. All right, let's get to 2.6 where we only have a lap left. And it was like, we just kept, let's just get there. Let's just get there. Let's just get there. Because you said you had a mantra today, a mantra.
And I think maybe this was one of those differences between last time as well. Last time I was like, okay, my knee's really hurting. I really want to stop. Today, my knee was really hurting as well. Like, to the point that I was going, like, while we were running, but I kept saying to myself, what do I do? I'm the master of my body. I'm the master of my mind. Yeah. And then I try to use it as a look. And this is something that I didn't say earlier. Like, this is only 3Ks. The Spartan's 5Ks and it's obstacles. So, I mean, if I need to stop during 3Ks, what chance do I stand later down the track? So I'm like, you know what? It's only 3Ks. Just breathe and relax your shoulders and just keep going. Just push through it.
And I think at some point we're gonna have to really look at that knee and figure out what that is. Is that something that we need to be mindful of, or is it something that's just your body getting used to running? I don't know at this point. So we'll want to, I think, at some point in the next week or two, see if we can get to a physio or somebody who knows what they're talking about. Give you a once over and see how that's going. But I mean,
Upside, the knee pain doesn't last for longer than a day.
yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, like, I guess it's not terrible.
Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, so basically the stats, of today's run. So we did 3K in approximately 20 minutes. I gave Erin a goal of under 22. We did it in 20 minutes and 32 seconds, which works out to about a 6:36 pace, 6:36 kilometer pace. That's probably around I don't know, that'd probably be around a 10:15, 10:30 pace, something like that. Yeah, something like that. In terms of mile, 10:15, 10:30 mile. And obviously we hit the 2 kilometer mark quicker than we did last week. So we got the 2 kilometers in whatever
Didn't
time.
you say it was like just over 13 though?
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting because, like, if last time we did 2Ks in 13 minutes and 28 seconds, but that was with a few minutes of walking, and then today it just means our pace was a lot slower.
Well, I kept you at a much more conservative pace today, whereas last week, 2 weeks ago, I was kind of pushing you a little bit.
True.
Like we were doing closer to 6-minute kilometers the whole time. Plus, I was bringing you up with a lot of fartleks on that day. We were doing a lot of like 5:15 pace, 5-minute pace. Whereas today, I didn't want to do that. Because it was cold. I mean, it wasn't cold, but it was colder. And so your body would have reacted differently. And I wanted to make sure that we could get that 3 kilometers without burning you out.
Good call.
Yeah. So walk us through, walk us through a little bit of your prep leading up to it and how you were because you were kind of scared.
I don't remember being scared. You're gonna have to jog my memory there.
You said, "I'm scared."
Well,
you were not looking for you weren't looking forward to it. You were kind of not sure of how you might. You didn't think that you could do it.
Yeah, just based on like even just the other day when I did 1K on the treadmill at a 6.5 kilometer pace, which really isn't any faster than what we've done. And it was hard just to hit a 1 kilometer that day. So then today, knowing that last time just to get 2 kilometers, I probably did about 1 kilometer and had to walk as well. It's a bit apprehensive because not that much time has passed. So I wasn't really sure how much I would have improved between 2 weeks ago or any of it. Like however many times I'm running during the week, it's like it's hard to gauge how much I'm improving. So that does make me a little bit apprehensive. Yeah. To prepare, I didn't really finish my breakfast this morning because the protein powder that I used turned the porridge to glue.
It wasn't Generation You Can.
It was not. It was another brand.
It was another brand which will remain nameless.
And then I did use the Generation You Can just before doing today's run. It potentially did help. It's hard to say just because I was a bit tired and, yes, everything was hurting right from like the first couple of strides.
Yeah.
And it was really hard because, again, this right knee was hurting and then, my hip flexor was hurting. Excuse me.
Am I boring you?
Yes.
Cool.
And then, the knees, the arches of the feet, the calves, the shins, everything was hurting. Everything kind of died down a little bit, but the right knee just stayed there, the whole time. So it was one that the pain kind of came up. And then that was when I was really struggling and wanted to walk, but then I kept telling myself, no, it's okay, just push through it. You're going to have to do it anyway, so may as well get it done. Yeah.
How are your hip flexors and hips and glutes feeling as you're running? Because it might be all related.
No, my glutes and my everything kind of felt a little tight today, but nothing in my hip flexors, hamstrings, quads, none of that really hurt. Mostly it's the knees down and then my right hip flexor that gets a little bit tight.
Right on.
But no, apart from that, the big muscles that usually do all the work, they're having fun. They're fine.
Cool.
So,
all right. And so, okay, so we've hit our next milestone run. the last week, 2 weeks ago, I asked you about, we had just done our first milestone run, and I asked you, what does 7 kilometers, like if you think about 7 kilometers, what do you feel like? Do you remember your answer?
No, but I'm pretty sure I laughed.
Yeah,
I probably would have laughed and said, it just doesn't seem achievable right now.
And now?
Now, it still doesn't really seem achievable, but it doesn't seem as scary, I guess. So it doesn't seem achievable yet, but it's not as intimidating, I guess.
Yeah, and I would argue that going from not thinking that you would even ever be able to run a kilometer without stopping to now you've just done 3 without stopping, I would argue it's going to be very achievable, and it's just going to take some time. And we were actually speaking about this before. We were talking about pace and how you feel like you would like to be able to run at a more competitive pace.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is it will take time. It will absolutely take time. Like when I first started running, like more seriously, I was running, if I was lucky, a 10.5, 11-minute mile, 6:30, 7-minute kilometer. It took a long time before I was able to start ticking over into 5-minute, 5.5-minute kilometer pace for a good distance. But the thing about that is it will happen, but as it happens, you want to really be careful about getting so excited about that, because that's when, oh man, I can run like a 5.5-minute kilometer for like 3-4 kilometers now. All I want to do is run, and that's where the dangers can happen. Whereas you start to push it too much, you start to run too much. You don't give yourself the rest because you're that excited about, oh man, look at what I can do. I can run so much farther, so much faster, and then all of a sudden you sideline yourself because you've been overdoing it. So that's what we'll really want to. Because I think my prediction is, like I said, I think somewhere in the next few weeks, you're going to see a noticeable difference in running speed and how it feels. I think you already are, but I think there's going to be like a switch, like just that was a lousy snap. That's better. There's going to be like a switch where all of a sudden things are going to start feeling really good. And it might not always be the case when you're running, but there's going to be a point where you're just like, oh, this is good. I can keep this up. And it might be a 6-minute pace. And all of a sudden sub 6, and it's like, oh, this is great. I feel good. Something about what I'm doing is feeling really good.
Yep.
Might not be every run, but I think in the next few weeks, you're going to start to get that. And I think it's going to be on one of these milestone runs where
I don't struggle as much.
Yeah. And I think, because what I've done, everybody, for Erin's milestone runs is, so today we did 3 kilometers. The next milestone run we do next week is actually going to be less than that. It's going to be 2 or 2.5 kilometers. So we basically are going up. Then the next week we're going back down. Then we're going to go back up, then back down. So next week it'll be like 2. Following week it'll be 4. Following week it'll be 3 again. So you're kind of doing that. And I think on one of those milestone runs where we come down, maybe the next time we do 3 kilometers, we're going to hopefully do it a little bit quicker. And we're going to try to, if not quicker, we're going to see if we can do it feeling a little bit better. And I think that's where that switch is going to start to happen.
So I think that I think there is a difference. I don't know if it's necessarily in more of the physical side of things. Like it is slight, but I think it's more of the mental thing.
Yeah.
I think maybe the mental endurance is a little bit better because I'm saying to myself, it isn't as scary, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing that's probably changed the most so far. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what else happens.
Right on. All right. Well, was there anything that else you wanted to talk a little bit about? Or?
No, not really.
No? Okay. No,
I have nothing else to add. The shoes still feel pretty good.
Right on.
Everything still hurts though.
Good. But no, we'll figure that out. We will figure that out. We'll see if we can get you in with a physio or somebody who can tell you what everything means. Because I can only say so much based on my experience. I'm obviously not a qualified physio, so I don't know what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, or how to fix it if it needs to be fixed. So look, we will continue on our journey toward the Spartan Race. So we're now about 16 weeks away from the Spartan Race. And so this is kind of like 16 week is kind of like traditionally the length of time that people will train for something. 16 weeks, don't know why, just that's like whenever you look up a plan, it's always like a 16-week plan, don't know why. So that's where we're at. We've of course started much more getting more strength training in, and really starting to focused on that and really kind of prioritize certain things. So I think we're headed in the right direction.
The grip strength and the upper body strength, I think, is more scary for me than the running aspect, to be honest. But we'll work on it.
We'll get there. All right. Well, look, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this Breaking the Barrier mini. Remember, head over to the Spartan Race AU website. You know, there will be a link for that in the show notes. You can get a 15% off your race with the coupon code Superman. Head on over to generationucan.com.au. Get 15% off with your coupon code Breaking the Barrier, and you know, you'd be the better athlete for it. So, look, again, thank you everybody so much for listening to this Breaking the Barrier mini, and we will update you sooner rather than later, in a couple weeks. So, thanks all. We'll catch you next time.